Hi you guys, it is your favorite pretty girl peeps, and I am here to talk to you guys about how I got my 73K in loans donezo, gone. What they say, PP loan gone. I got my PSLF loans forgiven. So a lot of people have been asking me how that happened, about the process. So I'm going to try to give you guys my interpretation. I am not a loan provider servicer. I'm not a customer service representative. This is just going to be my experience on how I got paid for doing, I did more, but doing at least 10 years of public service. So Joe Biden right now is forgiving different loans. You have the SAVE program, you have the PSLF, which if you don't know, PSLF stands for Public Service Loan Forgiveness. So pretty much the Public Service Loan Forgiveness program is a program in which your loans can be forgiven if you've worked in the public sector for 10 plus years. So even if you worked and you could provide that that information that you have worked from your past employers, you could be forgiving your loans. Now, the cool thing and why so many people are getting forgiven right now is even if you weren't paying your loans during the pandemic, those 2-3 years count as well under the Joe Biden administration, which is super cool. We did it, Joe. We did it. So pretty much, depending on what type of public service you do, most people assume it's like teaching, which is one. I work for higher education at a not-for-profit. It has to be a not-for-profit. I think firefighter, police officers, there's a list that you could look up. So if you just type in PSLF program, it should give you like the program requirements. They actually have a tool where you could look up the different companies in which you might qualify for. So to kind of give a little context with my situation with the PSLF loan, I had actually applied before my daughter was even born. So I want to say like 6 years ago, maybe I started the process. 6 or 7 years ago, I started the process of sending in my paperwork. So every year at least you need to certify like where you've been working, making sure you're working 40 hours a week at an institution that is qualified. So your boss can sign this, or the HR department for whatever company you work at, and then you send it to your loan provider. So initially I was with Navient, I want to say, and I got the opportunity to apply for the PSLF program. I was accepted, so they took all my loans and they consolidated them, minus like a little small portion of my loans, maybe like $2,000. So pretty much to even go back further than that, my undergraduate education was paid for, a full ride scholarship, thank God. And when I got to grad school, I didn't really know, because I was a first generation grad student, I didn't really know how that worked. And I took loans out every single semester, and I took the max amount because I wanted to help pay for my rent. I wanted to be able to pay for my car, things like that, because in grad school you're studying a lot, you're doing a lot of work, you don't have a lot of time to actually get a job. But I needed to be able to be on campus, to buy a parking pass to get to and from classes, to buy books, because grad school is a struggle too. People think like, oh, grad school ain't much of a struggle. It's a struggle too. Like me and my like cohort, we would like share books, we was doing all kind of stuff to save money. So that little extra bump in money that they give you in grad school, you think a refund in undergrad is something, that refund in grad school is up there. But that was stupid of me, because I probably should have got a job, or I probably should have at least got a TA assistant, something. Hindsight is 2020, right? You can't go back and change the past. So anyway, I had incurred all this debt from grad school pretty much, right? And so when I found out about the program, I was like, okay, cool, but 10 years seems so far when you're thinking about something like that. So to kind of jump back into where I said, so it was a company called Mohila. This was before the pandemic. I think I was pregnant with Mel, and I was trying to call in and see how much more paperwork I had to do, see what all else I needed to submit, because I had worked at another organization prior to where I am now that also kind of for PSLF. So how can I explain this next part? So you would, like I said, you would be sending paperwork in, and they had counts. So you have to get to 120 qualifying payments on the loan. So normally they don't count when you're in a forbearance. But again, under the Joe Biden administration, they counted some things that they normally wouldn't count, because he wants more students' loans to be forgiven, including the time during the pandemic. So when I finally got back to working in person, one of my sorority sisters, she was telling me how her loans had got forgiven under like the Biden administration because she didn't have to pay those extra payments. So I called, and they were telling me that in like 2 months, I actually would be at my 120 payments. But there were like 5 payments that weren't showing, right? So for whatever reason, those 5 payments never became eligible. So I just started like submitting month by month. Like literally every month I would just ask my boss, could she sign off on my paperwork and send it in. So finally, come September of 2023, I sent in my last paperwork and I actually applied to be forgiven of my loans. You have to actually apply to be forgiven of the loans. So maybe like end of October, early November, I saw where they had updated it to reflect that I had the 120 payments. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. No. So how can I explain it? So they still have to like send it through an actual process with the U.S. Department of Education for them to approve it before PSLF can approve it. So I had joined the PSLF group on Facebook. I definitely suggest if you just type in Public Service Loan Forgiveness Group on Facebook. There's a ton of resources in there, tons of information, tons of people helping other people, and it just kind of keeps you get your encouragement up, because you see other people being forgiven, other people's accounts going down to zero. And one of the biggest indicators that your account is done is you get a smiley face and it'll say your account is in good standing. So I just kept waiting. I'm like, I want my student loans to be forgiven because, you know, I got stuff I want to do. And so they put me on an administrative forbearance in maybe December. So I was like, okay, clearly they're waiting. They're still trying to process everything. I've been calling the U.S. Department, nothing. So January comes, and my sorority sister is like in the same boat, and she's like, well, have you heard anything, blah, blah, blah. So both of us was like, well, it's probably gonna be a while. So I think maybe like mid-January, she gets the notification that hers is paid for. But she had submitted her paperwork maybe like 3 months before I had submitted mine. So I was like, I probably still got quite a bit of time to go. So fast forward, literally, I checked my account the next day. No, I checked my account the same day when hers got approved. And the 73, however much, was still showing up. And I was like, damn, like it's just not going to be paid. And I hadn't received any correspondence. So I was like, it's just not going to be paid. So I was scrolling down my timeline. And there was an alpha who had posted a program they were having about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So I was like, I'm gonna just look just to humor myself. And I had the smiley face and the $0 balance, but I hadn't received any correspondence, so I was a little worried. So I wanted to call Mohila, which is the person who serviced my loan. And they were like, yeah, your loans are forgiven. Thank you for your service, blah, 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 blah. So then that's when I made my post that everybody was kind of asking how I went through it. So the easiest thing, if I would tell you anything, is to check the tool to make sure that your either current or former employee actually qualifies for PSLF, and then figure out how you need to get that consolidated and just apply. That's the easiest thing to do. There's also some other programs. You definitely could check out Joe Biden's website. I just know about the PSLF because that's what I was forgiven. Now I do still have like $2,000 in loans left that I'll probably try to pay at some point this year. Because to be honest, I was just going to let Jesus take care of the other loan, $73K. I was just going to let Jesus take care of that. But he still took care of it, right? You know, but I'm saying it's going to be one of them things like, it is what it is. Just let it happen how it's supposed to happen. But God bless me, and I got that 73K taken. I do not take it for granted. I do not take it lightly. I feel extremely blessed, and I feel blessed to come on here and make this video. So I'm going to link the PSLF stuff in the comments, in the description. But if you have any questions, feel free to chime in the comments and ask. And again, I wanted to keep this video very brief because I could be a rambler. But I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful to be able to come tell you guys about this. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. And good luck. And if you're still holding out for your loan, call them. Make sure they're not missing any payments. Make sure they're not missing any eligible, ineligible. Log into the system. Make sure things match up. All of that. But it's your favorite pretty girl peeps. Peace.